Now to talk about Bharti Idea in the context of the potential entry of Reliance Industries back into the voice telephony space. Rumit, thanks very much for your time. Good morning. Prashant this side. What is your sense, Rumit? A, how likely is it, do you think, Reliance will want to come back to the voice telephony space? And B, how easy is it going to be for Reliance to bunch up voice along with 4G and data services, which is expected to be rolled out by the middle of the year?
Yeah, so I think for Reliance, clearly they had earlier indicated that they're going to look at data, and that's the spectrum that they acquired. But our view is that if a new entrant wants to enter the market at this stage, we see very limited room for a pure data player. Thus, we do think that if an operator wants to enter the market, clearly they need to offer both voice and data. So to that extent, I think with voice, as per the reports, if that's allowed, then obviously it does mean that Reliance, if they do decide to enter, can offer both voice and data services.
Okay, when voice is still bulk of the revenues, right?
And what was the next question? Yeah, so voice is still almost 85% of the broader revenues, which is pretty much what we are saying, that if you want to enter the market today, you need to capture voice. And I can't have a situation where I'm offering data, but I can't use the network to offer voice, because data is not there in every part of India, and as a subscriber I need to be able to use both voice and data. So I don't think a singular data focused service play would really work. You still need voice. And finally, I think penetration in terms of both smartphone devices, affordability of smartphone devices, I think that's still a bit of an issue. While the prices for smartphones is coming down, and it has come down to almost $100 or $120 level, but I think it needs to fall a lot more to be affordable at the mass level.
Okay, got that. My next question was, some essentially are pointing to the difficulty of offering voice on LTE type of platforms. I mean, it's. Do you think that's going to be a problem for Reliance?
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a challenge, because I think there are two questions here. First question is on which spectrum do they decide to offer LTE, whether it's going to be 700, whether it's going to be 2300. We still don't know that yet. The other issue is, if I look at the broader LTE ecosystem, US, Japan, Korea, most of these countries are using FDD, and that's mostly on the 700 band, while China is the one that's using TD, where the ecosystem is developing. It's developing fast, but it's not still come to a price point where it becomes really affordable or it becomes mass. I think that will happen over the next year or so, but I think at this stage 700 ecosystem is slightly better than TD LTE. So I think that's going to be the biggest challenge, because you need eventually device prices, equipment prices and all of that to come down, and for that you need scale and global adoption. So I think it's going to take a little more time.
Okay. What about non-availability of cheap 4G handsets? You think that's a big hurdle?
Yeah, that's the big challenge, which is why I was mentioning that ecosystem needs to develop. Now, ecosystem is not only in context with the capex or network equipment; it's also in context with the devices and the cost of devices. And I think eventually the world is moving towards LTE. I think some of the developed markets are clearly turning off their 2G layers, etc., and 3G is becoming the base network layer, and then 4G is being overlaid on that. But the price points that India needs is quite different from the price point that's going to work in Japan or that's going to work in Korea or US. So I think for that we'll have to wait. we need China to actually develop 4G at mass scale, because they are one of the largest players in 4G in terms of size, and once they start rolling out 4G in a big way, I think you will see device prices coming off. So clearly I think pricing is going to be a challenge, and we are already seeing that with 3G, because 3G smartphone penetration in India is still lacking, and that's partly because of the price point.
How worried should be Bharti and Idea and Arcom and other incumbents in the voice space if RIL does make a big entry?
See, I think from a competitive standpoint, our view is that clearly a new player and a fresh balance sheet in be it RIL or be it anyone else, a large player like that would clearly be disruptive in terms of pricing, and that's going to be a concern for any incumbent. Secondly, I think the bigger challenge is the growth itself is slowing down, and if you look at the broader traffic growth on the voice side, that slowed down quite sharply over the last year and a half. In terms of subscriber penetration, your subscriber penetration is at 60%, but it's kind of stagnating at that level. So I think that is, in my view, a bigger challenge for the operators, that in an environment where your core voice growth is slowing down, if you get another competitor, it's clearly going to be a challenge.
How serious is the problem of slowing growth as you see it, as you forecast it into the next couple of quarters?
I think the core growth has been slowing down quite sharply. I mean, if you look at the broader revenue growth, say for likes of Idea, it used to be in the high 20s. In this quarter, on a YOY basis, come down to 10-11%. So that's clearly a sharp deceleration. For Bharti, it's about 7%. And I think this is despite tariffs actually declining over the last almost year and a half. But in an environment where everyone's saying that tariffs are going to move up because of the cost pressures, because of margin pressures, you have a situation where anyways your voice growth is slowing down, and if you increase tariffs further, it's going to probably hit your volumes even further. So I think it's a very fine balance that the operators need to maintain in terms of market share, in terms of traffic growth, and the quantum of tariff hikes that they can take. So I think it's going to be a very fine walk for the operators.
Do you think headline tariffs are going up in this environment? What is your sense, Rumit?
I don't think headline tariffs will go up straight away. I think what you will see is tariff increase by virtue of reduction of discounting, and obviously there is a lot of voucher-based discounting that happens in the market today. So your headline tariffs could be as high as 1 rupee, but clearly realized rates are not more than 60 paisa in terms of outgoing rate per minute. So clearly there is a lot of discounting, and I think that's what you will see. But the problem really is if you increase tariffs way too much, you run the risk of one, hitting on the volume growth, and second is you also run the risk that some of the smaller operators might choose to widen their discount to the larger players, because that gives them more room to play with. So I think that's going to be the biggest challenge, and this is a fine balance that the operators need to maintain, which eventually, in my opinion, would result into limited quantum of tariff increases. I don't think you can have a situation where you can increase tariffs by 15-20% for an extended period.
All right, got that. Rumit, thanks very much for your time. Great to have you with us here, and hope to see more of you on the channel here. Thanks very much. Rumit Dugal, Telecom and IT Analyst at Religare Capital Markets Limited. That's the view coming in there. Nifty is down 5, Sensex is down about 10 points or so as things stand. Vikas Khemani is joining in right now to run us through what he's making of this market. Vikas, good to see you here. Thanks very much. He's President and